Hey folks, this is Bailey from Wargaming, and today on our How to Paint, we're going to be doing the Lasercraft Workshop Sector 38 Hab Blockhouse, that is the 4x4 square. Let's get to it. Alright folks, so I want this to have an army green sort of color, so I'm going to start off with the Kelly green from Apple Barrel. I'm going to shake it up first, make sure it's all well mixed. I'm going to take the top off here just to make it easy, because I want a lot of this pink since it's a base color. Flop a lot on here. Got my big brush here. I'm going to get a bunch of this paint, and I'm going to apply it to this black primer. It is a Rust-Oleum black primer is what I use. You can get it from Walmart, that's where I got it, or any sort of hardware store, and I'm just going to apply this liberally to the main building and to the roof here. And what I want to do is make sure that I've got all my strokes in the same spot. I want to make sure that my strokes are all in the same direction, so that way my paint job does not look terrible. I want it to make sure that my paint job, the paint looks like it's gone on in the same direction. That's the key here. Makes the look of it a lot better. But so far this is the color I've got. Kelly green for the main part of the main building and roof. Now that I've finished the base coat, what I would like to do is do a dry brush. So I have leaf green here from Apple Barrel. I'm going to shake it up, pour some out. I'm going to use the exact same brush that I'd used to apply the previous green, because I like having a dirty mixed brush. I like the blending to happen when I dry brush on the brush itself. So I'm going to go over the building like so. Get the extreme edges by dry brushing. Again, I want to dry brush in the same direction I paint. What I look like, I especially want to get the corners. I want to make sure to hit the corners specifically, because those are these hard edges there. Just kind of push in there to try and get around some of the raised edges, but I want to especially make sure I hit these hard edges here on the corners and such. And there I have the dry brush done on my building. To continue the army theme, I want to apply a light brown to the raised edges on this model. So the panels on the roof and the panels and windows and doors on the main part of the building. So here I have some Nutmeg by Apple Barrel. That's the color I want to use. I'm going to shake it here. I'm going to lay it out here on the table, on my palette, one might say. I had a big lump of it because I got a lot to do. I'm going to take a smaller brush than what I've been using here. I'm going to pick some of it up. I'm going to start, let's start on the door side here. I want to paint up the door. Not only do I want to paint up the door, I want to make sure that I do the inside edge of the door here and on that part there. And I also want to get the outside of the door here. Sometimes it might take more than one coat. That's all right. Don't let it pull up too much. That'll be too thick on the model and will mess up what you're trying to do. Now on the raised side panels on the side here, I want to make sure I get those brown as well. I'm going to paint all in the same direction. Get the top here. Get the tops of the panel. Get the rounded sides of the panel here. Alright, and then I'll continue that process on the other side. And then on the roof panel here, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the side panel. Paint down here, because that's what I've been painting all along, is down, up and down. If I start going the wrong way, I can always go back and paint over it and get the strokes going the right way. But on the sides here, I gotta just kind of go down the sides. Again, if you make mistakes, don't be afraid to go in, wipe them away with some water. Finally, I want to do the rivets on this blockhouse. So I have brushed silver from the Folk Arts paint set, the metallic paint set. I'm going to shake it up, make sure it's all nice and mixed up here. Put some here on. Ooh, I got some on my brush already. I want to get a smaller brush, which I have here. Mix it in here. And I'm going to do not just the rivets on the roof here, which I'm going to start out with. These rivets here. And to really make this fast and efficient and worthy of your time, I got some paint on me here. Get that off before I get it on the model. You want to make sure you have a brush that's big enough to just do one poke and the rivet is done. Otherwise, you're going to be here a while. Again, as with all of these, if you get too much in a spot, feel free to get some water on a different brush, a clean brush, and clear out the paint you don't want. Such as right here. I got a little overzealous right there. I'm going to try and clear that out a little bit. I also have rivets on the panels here. Not just on the raised panels, but on the side panels. This will help differentiate from the regular wall by adding these panel rivets here. I also want to do the rivets on the windows. And then I also want to do the rivets on the roof. That include the side panels here that are not raised and the raised panels as well. And don't be afraid to come in and do the square panels on the doors. Just like that. Once again, folks, here's our Lasercraft Workshop Sector 38 Hab Blockhouse. That is the 4x4 square, completely painted with the panels, windows, doors, and rivets all done. If you want to know more about Lasercraft Workshop and their MDF terrain, as well as Dankless Wargaming, please check the video description below. If you like this content, please like, comment, and share. Until next time, I'm Bailey, reminding you that if your lists start to tank, then it is time to get dank. Hey folks, it's time for some bonus coverage because I forgot to do the ladder. So every one of these Blockhouse kits comes with a ladder, and we're going to paint ours. So the first thing I want to get is my gunmetal gray from Folk Art. It is metallic. Shake it up. Especially want to shake metallics because they separate easily and they come out looking weird if you don't shake them up before you use them. So I've got this nice dark gray here. Got a decent sized brush here. Gonna get the paint. Don't want to get too thick on here. It makes my job harder. And then just going to apply this gunmetal gray all over my ladder here. Next, we're going to move up to a lighter dry brush. We're going to use the Folk Arts brushed silver, which we used on the rivets earlier. Got it shaken up to mix the color the way I need it. Ooh, a lot of it came out. That's all right. Picking up, we just want to get the extreme edges, so I just want to wipe quickly across the hard edges, inside, outside, and all over on this ladder, and you will begin to see the contrast between the lighter raised areas where the dry brush is going to land and the darker recesses where the older paint, the first layer of paint, stays behind, giving much more depth to this ladder. And that, folks, completes our ladder, as you can see here, and I'm going to add it to our building. So it looks like this, and that is the truly completed Sector 38 Hab blockhouse. That's the 4x4 square. Don't forget the ladder like I did. It's a very important piece, because how else are you guys supposed to get up on that roof?